AP Chemistry Screencast 2.11 Precipitation Reactions. This is really a subset of net ionic equations. We can define a precipitate as the insoluble solid that separates from a solution. Some people would also describe precipitation as can be in the liquid form, for example, when water precipitates from the air, or even in the gaseous form, if a gas precipitates out of a liquid solution without gassing. For the purposes of this presentation, we'll define it simply as the insoluble solid that separates from a solution. Let's do an example. When lead nitrate and sodium iodide are dissolved in water, what happens? Well, what's observed to happen is the lead iodide precipitates. You can predict this based on solubility rules. Nitrates are always soluble, etc., etc. The molecular equation writes down everything, but it's a little bit misleading, right? These things are true. I mean, lead nitrate and sodium iodide do react to form lead iodide plus sodium nitrate, but it's not necessarily a good representation of what's actually in your flask. After all, the lead iodide is not in solution, right? And the sodium nitrate doesn't really exist at all, because what's in solution is sodium cations and sodium nitrate anions. It's a conductive solution. There's ample evidence that there's no sodium nitrate at all in there. It's ionized. Okay, the ionic equation only involves what's the ions that are present. So that's usually an exercise in getting halfway to the net ionic equation. You write down every single ion. So take them all. Lead nitrate. So you got lead plus the two nitrate ions. They're all dissolved. Sodium iodide, sodium and iodide. 2 sodium, 2 iodide, etc., etc. You write them all down. This one doesn't show them as being aqueous or not, so you just leave them blank, leave the precipitate in the form of a solid. The net ionic equation simply shows the ions that are present in solution. So what's happening, the net ionic equation is typically just what happens to form the solid. The lead plus the iodide forms the lead iodide. How do we know that? The other ones are spectators, right? In other words, if two nitrates are reactants and 2 nitrates are product, they're not really involved at all, right? They cancel. So the net ionic equation, you can do the whole process, which occasionally might be useful, or the shortcut is to simply write the ions that go to form the solid stuff. So the sodium cation and the nitrate anion are spectator ions. This is precipitation reactions.